Ethnography. 86 languages. Hide. Not to be confused with ethnology. For the academic periodical, see Ethnography, Journal. This article has multiple issues. Please help improve it or discuss these issues on the talk page. Learn how and when to remove these messages. This article is written like a research paper or scientific journal. February 2020. This article needs additional citations for verification. August 2020. Ethnography is a branch of anthropology and the systematic study of individual cultures. Ethnography explores cultural phenomena from the point of view of the subject of the study. Ethnography is also a type of social research that involves examining the behavior of the participants in a given social situation and understanding the group members' own interpretation of such behavior. 1. As a form of inquiry, ethnography relies heavily on participant observation, on the researcher participating in the setting or with the people being studied, at least in some marginal role, and seeking to document, in detail, patterns of social interaction and the perspectives of participants, and to understand these in their local contexts. It had its origin in social and cultural anthropology in the early 20th century, but spread to other social science disciplines, notably sociology, during the course of that century. Ethnographers mainly use qualitative methods, though they may also employ quantitative data. The typical ethnography is a holistic study and so includes a brief history, and an analysis of the terrain, the climate, and the habitat. A wide range of groups and organizations have been studied by this method, including traditional communities, youth gangs, religious cults, and organizations of various kinds. While, traditionally, ethnography has relied on the physical presence of the researcher in a setting, there is research using the label that has relied on interviews or documents, sometimes to investigate events in the past such as the NASA Challenger disaster. There is also a considerable amount of virtual or online ethnography, sometimes labeled netnography or cyber-ethnography. Origins, edit. The term ethnography is from Greek, ethnos folk, people, nation and gra with acute phi. Right, and encompasses the ways in which ancient authors described and analyzed foreign cultures. 2, 3, 4, 3, 5. Anthony Kaldalis loosely suggests the Odyssey as a starting point for ancient. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. The Roman historian Publius Cornelius Tacitus was a prolific ethnographer in antiquity. Ethnography, while noting that Herodotus' histories is the usual starting point, while Edith Hall has argued that Homeric poetry lacks the coherence and vigor of ethnological science. 6, 7. From Herodotus forward, ethnography was a mainstay of ancient historiography. 8. Tacitus has ethnographies in the Agricola, Histories, and Germania. Tacitus' Germania stands as the sole surviving full-scale monograph by a classical author on an alien people. 9. Ethnography formed a relatively coherent subgenre in Byzantine literature. 7. Development as a science, edit. See also, Off the Veranda. While ethnography, ethnographic writing, was widely practiced in antiquity, ethnography as a science, compare ethnology, did not exist in the ancient world. 10. There is no ancient term or concept applicable to ethnography, and those writers probably did not consider the study of other cultures as a distinct mode of inquiry from history. 11. Gerhard Friedrich Müller developed the concept of ethnography as a separate discipline whilst participating in the Second Kamchatka Expedition, 1733–43, as a professor of history and geography. Whilst involved in the expedition, he differentiated Völkerbeschreibung as a distinct area of study. This became known as ethnography, following the introduction of the Greek neologism ethnographia by Johann Friedrich Skopelin and the German variant by F. Thillo in 1767. 12. August Ludwig von Schlosser and Christoph Wilhelm Jacob Gatter of the University of Göttingen introduced the term into the academic discourse in an attempt to reform the contemporary understanding of world history. 12. 13. Features of ethnographic research, edit. According to Dewan, 2018, the researcher is not looking for generalizing the findings, rather, they are considering it in reference to the context of the situation. In this regard, the best way to integrate ethnography in a quantitative research would be to use it to discover and uncover relationships and then use the resultant data to test and explain the empirical assumptions. 14. In ethnography, the researcher gathers what is available, what is normal, what it is that people do, what they say, and how they work. 15. Ethnography can also be used in other methodological frameworks, for instance, an action research program of study where one of the goals is to change and improve the situation. 15. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Izmir Ethnography Museum in Izmir, Turkey, from the Courtyard Ethnography Museum. Budapest, Hungary. Ethnographic research is a fundamental methodology in cultural ecology, development studies, and feminist geography. In addition, it has gained importance in social, political, cultural, and nature society geography. 16. Ethnography is an effective methodology in qualitative geographic research that focuses on people's perceptions and experiences and their traditionally place-based immersion within a social group. 17. Data collection methods, edit. According to John Brewer, a leading social scientist, data collection methods are meant to capture the social meanings and ordinary activities, 18, of people, informants, in naturally occurring settings, 18, that are commonly referred to as the field. The goal is to collect data in such a way that the researcher imposes a minimal amount of personal bias in the data. 18. Multiple methods of data collection may be employed to facilitate a relationship that allows for a more personal and in-depth portrait of the informants and their community. These can include participant observation, field notes, interviews and surveys, as well as various visual methods. 19. Interviews are often taped and later transcribed, allowing the interview to proceed unimpaired of note-taking, but with all information available later for full analysis. Secondary research and document analysis are also used to provide insight into the research topic. In the past, kinship charts were commonly used to discover logical patterns and social structure in non-Western societies. 20. In the 21st century, anthropology focuses more on the study of people in urban settings and the use of kinship charts is seldom employed. In order to make the data collection and interpretation transparent, researchers creating ethnographies often attempt to be reflexive. Reflexivity refers to the researcher's aim to explore the ways in which the researcher's involvement with a particular study influences, acts upon and informs such research. 21. Marvesti, Amir and Gubrium. Jabber. 2023. Crafting Ethnographic Fieldwork, Sites, Selves and Social Worlds. Routledge. Despite these attempts of reflexivity, no researcher can be totally unbiased. This factor has provided a basis to criticize ethnography. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Traditionally, the ethnographer focuses attention on a community, selecting knowledgeable informants who know the activities of the community well. 22. These informants are typically asked to identify other informants who represent the community, often using snowball or chain sampling. 22. This process is often effective in revealing common cultural denominators connected to the topic being studied. 22. Ethnography relies greatly on up-close, personal experience. Participation, rather than just observation, is one of the keys to this process. 23. Ethnography is very useful in social research. An inevitability during ethnographic participation is that the researcher experiences at least some resocialization. In other words, the ethnographer to some extent becomes what they are studying. 24. For instance, an ethnographer may become skilled at a work activity that they are studying. They may become members of a particular religious group they are interested in studying. Or they may even inhabit a familial role in a community they are staying with. Robert M. Emerson, Rachel Fretz, and Linda Shaw summarize this idea in their book Writing Ethnographic Field Notes. Using a common metaphor, the fieldworker cannot and should not attempt to be a fly on the wall. 25. Yibma et al. 2010. Examine the ontological and epistemological presuppositions underlying ethnography. Ethnographic research can range from a realist perspective, in which behavior is observed, to a constructivist perspective where understanding is socially constructed by the researcher and subjects. Research can range from an objectivist account of fixed, observable behaviors to an interpretive narrative describing the interplay of individual agency and social structure. 26. Critical theory researchers address issues of power within the researcher researched, relationships and the links between knowledge and power. Another form of data collection is that of the image. The image is the projection that an individual puts on an object or abstract idea. An image can be contained within the physical world through a particular individual's perspective, primarily based on that individual's past experiences. 1. Example of an image is how an individual views a novel after completing it. The physical entity that is the novel contains a specific image in the perspective of the interpreting individual and can only be expressed by the individual in the terms of I can tell you what an image is by telling you what it feels like. 27. The idea of an image relies on the imagination and has been seen to be utilized by children in a very spontaneous and natural manner. Effectively, the idea of the image is a primary tool for ethnographers to collect data. The image presents the perspective, experiences, and influences of an individual as a single entity, and in consequence, the individual will always contain this image in the group under study. Differences across disciplines. Edit. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. The ethnographic method is used across a range of different disciplines, primarily by anthropologists/ethnologists, but also occasionally by sociologists. Cultural studies, occupational therapy, economics, social work, education, design, psychology, computer science, human factors, and ergonomics, ethnomusicology, folkloristics, religious studies, geography, history, linguistics, communication studies, performance studies, advertising, accounting research, nursing, urban planning, usability, political science, 28, social movement, 29, and criminology are other fields which have made use of ethnography. Cultural and social anthropology. Edit. Cultural anthropology and social anthropology were developed around ethnographic research and their canonical texts, which are mostly ethnographies, for example Argonauts of the Western Pacific, 1922. By Bronislaw Malinowski, Ethnologist Excursion in Johor, 1875, by Nicholas McLeod Homerclay. Coming of Age in Samoa, 1928, by Margaret Mead, The Newer, 1940, by E. Evans Pritchard. Navan, 1936, 1958, by Gregory Bateson, or The Leal of the Kasai, 1963, by Mary Douglas. Cultural and social anthropologists today place a high value on doing ethnographic research. The typical ethnography is a document written about a particular people, almost always based at least in partonymic views of where the culture begins and ends, using language or community boundaries. To bound the ethnography is common. 30. Ethnographies are also sometimes called case studies. 31. Ethnographers study and interpret culture, its universalities, and its variations through the ethnographic study based on fieldwork. An ethnography is a specific kind of written observational science which provides an account of a particular culture, society, or community. The fieldwork usually involves spending a year or more in another society, living with the local people, and learning about their ways of life. Ruth Fulton Benedict uses examples of ethnography in her series of fieldwork that began in 1922 of Serrano, of the Zuni in 1924, the Coshiti in 1925 and the Pina in 1926. All being people she wished to study for her anthropological data. Benedict's experiences with the Southwest Zuni Pueblo is to be considered the basis of her formative fieldwork. The experience set the idea for her to produce her theory of culture is personality writ. Large, Model, 1988. By studying the culture between the different Pueblo and Plain Indians, she discovered the culture isomorphism that would be considered her personalized unique approach to the study of anthropology using ethnographic techniques. A typical ethnography attempts to be holistic, 32, 33, and typically follows an outline to include a brief history of the culture in question, an analysis of the physical geography or terrain inhabited by the people under study, including climate, and often including what biological anthropologists call habitat. Folk notions of botany and zoology are presented as ethnobotany and ethnozoology. alongside references from the formal sciences, material culture, technology, and means of subsistence are usually treated next, as they are typically bound up in physical geography and include descriptions of infrastructure, kinship and social structure, including age grading, peer groups, gender, voluntary associations, clans, moieties, and so forth, if they exist, are typically. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Bronislaw Malinowski among Trobriand tribe. Part of the ethnographic collection of the Maymerge County Museum in Croatia. Included languages spoken, dialects, and the history of language change are another group of standard topics. 34. Practices of child rearing, acculturation, and emic views on personality and values usually follow after sections on social structure. 35. Rites, rituals, and other evidence of religion have long been an interest and are sometimes central to ethnographies, especially when conducted in public where visiting anthropologists can see them. 36. As ethnography developed, anthropologists grew more interested in less tangible aspects of culture, such as values, worldview, and what Clifford Geertz termed the ethos of the culture. In his fieldwork, Geertz used elements of a phenomenological approach, tracing not just the doings of people, but the cultural elements themselves. For example, if within a group of people, winking was a communicative gesture, he sought to first determine what kinds of things a wink might mean. It might mean several things. Then, he sought to determine in what contexts winks were used, and whether, as one moved about a region, winks remained meaningful in the same way. In this way, cultural boundaries of communication could be explored, as opposed to using linguistic boundaries or notions about the residents. Geertz, while still following something of a traditional ethnographic outline, moved outside that outline to talk about webs instead of outlines. 37. Of culture. Within cultural anthropology, there are several subgenres of ethnography. Beginning in the 1950s and early 1960s, anthropologists began writing bioconfessional ethnographies that intentionally exposed the nature of ethnographic research. Famous examples include Trieste's Tropics, 1955, by Levi Strauss, The High Valley by Kenneth Reed, and The Savage and the Innocent by David Mayberry Lewis, as well as the mildly fictionalized Return to Laughter by Eleanor Smith Bowen. Laura Bohannon. Later reflexive ethnographies refined the technique to translate cultural differences by representing their effects on the ethnographer. Famous examples include Deep Play, Notes on a Balinese Cockfight by Clifford Geertz, Reflections on Fieldwork in Morocco by Paul Rabinow, The Headman and I by Jean-Paul Dumont, and Tuhami by Vincent Crapenzano. In the 1980s, the rhetoric of ethnography was subjected to intense scrutiny within the discipline, under the general influence of literary theory and post-colonial /post-structuralist thought. Experimental ethnographies that reveal the ferment of the discipline include shamanism, colonialism, and the Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Wild Man by Michael Taussig, Debating Muslims by Michael F. J. Fisher and Mehdi Abidi, A Space On the Side of the Road by Kathleen Stewart, and Advocacy After Bhopal by Kim For-chan. This critical turn in socio-cultural anthropology during the mid-1980s can be traced to the influence of the now classic, and often contested, text writing culture, The Poetics and Politics of Ethnography, 1986, edited by James Clifford and George Marcus. Writing culture helped bring changes to both anthropology and ethnography, often described in terms of being postmodern, reflexive, literary, deconstructive, or post-structural in nature, in that the text helped to highlight the various epistemic and political predicaments that many practitioners saw as plaguing ethnographic representations and practices. 38. Wergiat's and Turner's interpretive anthropology recognized subjects as creative actors who constructed their socio-cultural worlds out of symbols. Postmodernists attempted to draw attention to the privileged status of the ethnographers themselves. That is, the ethnographer cannot escape the personal viewpoint in creating an ethnographic account, thus making any claims of objective neutrality highly problematic, if not altogether impossible. 39. In regards to this last point, writing culture became a focal point for looking at how ethnographers could describe different cultures and societies without denying the subjectivity of those individuals and groups being studied, while simultaneously doing so without laying claim to absolute knowledge and objective authority. 40. Along with the development of experimental forms such as dialogic anthropology, narrative ethnography, 41, and literary ethnography, 42, writing culture helped to encourage the development of collaborative ethnography. 43. This exploration of the relationship between writer, audience, and subject has become a central tenet of contemporary anthropological and ethnographic practice. In certain instances, active collaboration between the researcher, S, and subject, S, has helped blend the practice of collaboration in ethnographic fieldwork with the process of creating the ethnographic product resulting from the research. 43, 44, 45. Sociology, edit. This section does not cite any sources. Please help improve this section by adding citations to reliable sources. Unsourced material may be challenged and removed. August 2020, learn how and when to remove this message. Sociology is another field which prominently features ethnographies. Urban Sociology, Atlanta University, now Clark Atlanta University, and the Chicago School, in particular, are associated with ethnographic research, with some well-known early examples being the Philadelphia Negro, 1899, by W. E. B. Du Bois, Street Corner Society by William Foote White, and Black Metropolis by Street Clair Drake and Horace R. Kaitan, Jr. Well known is Jabber F. Gubrium's pioneering ethnography on the experiences of a nursing home, living and dying at Murray Manor. Major influences on this development were anthropologist Lloyd Warner, on the Chicago sociology faculty, and to Robert Park's experience as a journalist. Symbolic interactionism developed from the same tradition and explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Yielded such sociological ethnographies as Shared Fantasy by Gary Allen Fine, which documents the early history of fantasy role-playing games. Other important ethnographies in sociology include Pierre Bourdieu's work in Algeria and France, Jabber F. Gubrium series of organizational ethnographies focused on the everyday practices of illness, care, and recovery are notable. They include Living and Dying at Murray Manor, which describes the social worlds of a nursing home, describing care, image and practice in rehabilitation, which documents the social organization of patient subjectivity in a physical rehabilitation hospital, caretakers, treating emotionally disturbed children, which features the social construction of behavioral disorders in children, and Alzheimer's and Alzheimer's, the descriptive organization of senility, which describes how the Alzheimer's disease movement constructed a new subjectivity of senile dementia and how that is organized in a geriatric hospital. Another approach to ethnography in sociology comes in the form of institutional ethnography, developed by Dorothy E. Smith for studying the social relations which structure people's everyday lives. Other notable ethnographies include Paul Willis's Learning to Labor, on working-class youth, the work of Elijah Anderson, Mitchell Jr., and Loic Wacquant on Black America, and Leolia Rhodes. Glimpses of Madrasa from Africa. But even though many subfields and theoretical perspectives within sociology use ethnographic methods, ethnography is not the sine qua non of the discipline, as it is in cultural anthropology. Communication Studies, edit. Beginning in the 1960s and 1970s, ethnographic research methods began to be widely used by communication scholars, as the purpose of ethnography is to describe and interpret the shared and learned patterns of values, behaviors, beliefs, and language of a culture-sharing group. Harris, 1968, also Agar, 1980, note that ethnography is both a process and an outcome of the research. Studies such as Jerry Philipson's analysis of cultural communication strategies in a blue-collar, working-class neighborhood on the south side of Chicago, Speaking Like a Man in Teamsterville, paved the way for the expansion of ethnographic research in the study of communication. Scholars of communication studies use ethnographic research methods to analyze communicative behaviors and phenomena. This is often characterized in the writing as attempts to understand taken for granted routines by which working definitions are socially produced. Ethnography as a method is a storied, careful, and systematic examination of the reality-generating mechanisms of everyday life. 1995. Ethnographic work in communication studies seeks to explain how ordinary methods /practices /performances construct the ordinary actions used by ordinary people in the accomplishments of their identities. This often gives the perception of trying to answer the why and how come questions of human communication. 46. Often this type of research results in a case study or field study, such as an analysis of speech patterns at a protest rally, or the way. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Firemen communicate during downtime at a fire station. Like anthropology scholars, communication scholars often immerse themselves and participate in and / or directly observe the particular social group being studied. 47. Other fields, edit. The American anthropologist George Spindler was a pioneer in applying the ethnographic methodology to the classroom. Anthropologists such as Daniel Miller and Mary Douglas have used ethnographic data to answer academic questions about consumers and consumption. In this sense, Tony Salvador, Genevieve Bell, and Ken Anderson describe design ethnography as being a way of understanding the particulars of daily life in such a way as to increase the success probability of a new product or service, or, more appropriately, to reduce the probability of failure specifically due to a lack of understanding of the basic behaviors and frameworks of consumers. 48. Sociologist Sam Ladner argues in her book, 49, that understanding consumers and their desires requires a shift in standpoint, one that only ethnography provides. The results are products and services that respond to consumers' unmet needs. Businesses, too, have found ethnographers helpful for understanding how people use products and services. By assessing user experience in a natural setting, ethnology yields insights into the practical applications of a product or service. It is one of the best ways to identify areas of friction and improve overall user experience. 50. Companies make increasing use of ethnographic methods to understand consumers and consumption, or for new product development, such as video ethnography. The ethnographic praxis in industry, EPIC, conference is evidence of this. Ethnographers' systematic and holistic approach to real-life experience is valued by product developers, who use the method to understand unstated desires or cultural practices that surround products. Where focus groups fail to inform marketers about what people really do, ethnography links what people say to what they do, avoiding the pitfalls that come from relying only on self-reported, focus group data. Evaluating ethnography, edit. The ethnographic methodology is not usually evaluated in terms of philosophical standpoint, such as positivism and emotionalism. Ethnographic studies need to be evaluated in some manner. No consensus has been developed on evaluation standards, but Richardson, 2000, p. 254-51, provides 5 criteria that ethnographers might find helpful. Jabber F. Gubrium and James A. Holsteins, 1997, monograph, The New Language of Qualitative Method, discusses forms of ethnography in terms of their methods. Talk 1. Substantive contribution. Does the piece contribute to our understanding of social life? 2. Aesthetic merit. Does this piece succeed aesthetically? Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 3. Reflexivity. How did the author come to write this text? Is there adequate self-awareness and self-exposure for the reader to make judgments about the point of view? 52. 4. Impact. Does this affect me emotionally, intellectually? Does it move me? 5. Expresses a reality. Does it seem true, a credible account of a cultural, social, individual, or communal sense of the real? Ethics, edit. Gary Allen Fine argues that the nature of ethnographic inquiry demands that researchers deviate from formal and idealistic rules or ethics that have come to be widely accepted in qualitative and quantitative approaches in research. Many of these ethical assumptions are rooted in positivist and post-positivist epistemologies that have adapted over time but are apparent and must be accounted for in all research paradigms. These ethical dilemmas are evident throughout the entire process of conducting ethnographies, including the design, implementation, and reporting of an ethnographic study. Essentially, Fine maintains that researchers are typically not as ethical as they claim or assume to be, and that each job includes ways of doing things that would be inappropriate for others to know. 53. Also see Jabber F. Gubrium Concept of Site Specificity discussed his book co-edited with Amir Marvesti titled Crafting Ethnographic Fieldwork. Routledge, 2023. Fine is not necessarily casting blame at ethnographic researchers but tries to show that researchers often make idealized ethical claims and standards which are inherently based on partial truths and self-deceptions. Fine also acknowledges that many of these partial truths and self-deceptions are unavoidable. He maintains that illusions are essential to maintain an occupational reputation and avoid potentially more caustic consequences. He claims, ethnographers cannot help but lie, but in lying, we reveal truths that escape those who are not so bold. 54. Based on these assertions, Fine establishes three conceptual clusters in which ethnographic ethical dilemmas can be situated: classic virtues, technical skills, and ethnographic self. Much debate surrounding the issue of ethics arose following revelations about how the ethnographer Napoleon Chagnon conducted his ethnographic fieldwork with the Yanomami people of South America. While there is no international standard on ethnographic ethics, many Western anthropologists look to the American Anthropological Association for guidance when conducting ethnographic work. 55. In 2009, the association adopted a code of ethics, stating, anthropologists have moral obligations as members of other groups, such as the family, religion, and community, as well as the profession. 55. The Code of Ethics notes that anthropologists are part of a wider scholarly and political network, as well as human and natural environment, which needs to be reported on respectfully. 55. The Code of Ethics recognizes that sometimes very close and personal relationship can sometimes develop from doing ethnographic work. 55. The association acknowledges that the code is limited in scope. Ethnographic work can sometimes be multidisciplinary, and anthropologists explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Need to be familiar with ethics and perspectives of other disciplines as well. 56. The 8-page Code of Ethics outlines ethical considerations for those conducting research, teaching, application and dissemination of results, which are briefly outlined below. 57. Conducting research. When conducting research, anthropologists need to be aware of the potential impacts of the research on the people and animals they study. 58. If the seeking of new knowledge will negatively impact the people and animals they will be studying, they may not undertake the study according to the Code of Ethics. 58. Teaching. When teaching the discipline of anthropology, instructors are required to inform students of the ethical dilemmas of conducting ethnographies and field work. 59. Application. When conducting an ethnography, anthropologists must be open with funders, colleagues, persons studied or providing information, and relevant parties affected by the work about the purpose, potential impacts, and source, of support for the work. 60. Dissemination of results. When disseminating results of an ethnography, anthropologists have an ethical obligation to consider the potential impact of both their research and the communication or dissemination of the results of their research on all directly or indirectly involved. 61. Research results of ethnographies should not be withheld from participants in the research if that research is being observed by other people. 60. Classic virtues, edit. The kindly ethnographer. Most ethnographers present themselves as being more sympathetic than they are, which aids in the research process, but is also deceptive. The identity that we present to subjects is different from whom we are in other circumstances. The friendly ethnographer. Ethnographers operate under the assumption that they should not dislike anyone. When ethnographers find they intensely dislike individuals encountered in the research, they may crop them out of the findings. 62. The honest ethnographer. If research participants know the research goals, their responses will likely be skewed. Therefore, ethnographers often conceal what they know in order to increase the likelihood of acceptance by participants. 62. Technical skills, edit. The precise ethnographer. Ethnographers often create the illusion that field notes are data and reflect what really happened. They engage in the opposite of plagiarism, giving undeserved credit through loose interpretations and paraphrasing. Researchers take near fictions and turn them into claims of fact. The closest ethnographers can ever really get to reality is an approximate truth. Citation needed. The observant ethnographer. Readers of ethnography are often led to assume the report of a scene is complete, that little of importance was missed. In reality, an ethnographer will always miss some aspect because of lacking omniscience. Everything is open to multiple. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd. HTML to PDF. Interpretations and misunderstandings. As ethnographers, skills in observation and collection of data vary by individual. What is depicted in ethnography can never be the whole picture. The unobtrusive ethnographer. As a participant in the scene, the researcher will always have an effect on the communication that occurs within the research site. The degree to which one is an active member affects the extent to which sympathetic understanding is possible. 63. Ethnographic self, edit. The following are commonly misconceived conceptions of ethnographers. 64. The candid ethnographer, where the researcher personally situates within the ethnography, is ethically problematic. There is an illusion that everything reported was observed by the researcher. The chaste ethnographer. When ethnographers participate within the field, they invariably develop relationships with research subjects / participants. These relationships are sometimes not accounted for within the reporting of the ethnography, although they may influence the research findings. The fair ethnographer fine claims that objectivity is an illusion and that everything in ethnography is known from a perspective. Therefore, it is unethical for a researcher to report fairness in findings. The literary ethnographer representation is a balancing act of determining what to show through poetic / prosaic language and style, versus what to tell via straightforward, factual reporting. The individual skills of an ethnographer influence what appears to be the value of the research. According to Norman K. Denzin, ethnographers should consider the following 7 principles when observing, recording, and sampling data. Citation needed. 1. The groups should combine symbolic meanings with patterns of interaction. 2. Observe the world from the point of view of the subject, while maintaining the distinction between everyday and scientific perceptions of reality. 3. Link the group's symbols and their meanings with the social relationships. 4. Record all behavior. 5. The methodology should highlight phases of process, change, and stability. 6. The act should be a type of symbolic interactionism. 7. Use concepts that would avoid casual explanations. Forms, edit. Autoethnography, edit. Main article, Autoethnography. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Autoethnography is a form of ethnographic research in which a researcher connects personal experiences to wider cultural, political, and social meanings and understandings. 65, 66, 67, 68. According to Adams et al., autoethnography 1. Uses a researcher's personal experience to describe and critique cultural beliefs, practices, and experiences. 2. Acknowledges and values a researcher's relationships with others. 3. Uses deep and careful self-reflection, typically referred to as reflexivity, to name and interrogate the intersections between self and society, the particular and the general, the personal and the political. 4. Shows people in the process of figuring out what to do, how to live, and the meaning of their struggles. 5. Balances intellectual and methodological rigor, emotion, and creativity. 6. Strives for social justice and to make life better. 69. Bochner and Ellis have also defined autoethnography as an autobiographical genre of writing and research that displays multiple layers of consciousness, connecting the personal to the cultural. 70. 65. They further indicate that autoethnography is typically written in first person and can appear in a variety of forms such as short stories, poetry, fiction, novels, photographic essays, personal essays, journals, fragmented and layered writing, and social science prose. 70. 65. Genealogical method, edit. The genealogical method investigates links of kinship determined by marriage and descent. The method owes its origin from the book of British ethnographer W.H.R. Rivers titled Kinship and Social Organisation in 1911. 71. Genealogy or kinship commonly plays a crucial role in the structure of non-industrial societies, determining both social relations and group relationship to the past. Marriage, for example, is frequently pivotal in determining military alliances between villages, clans, or ethnic groups. In the field of epistemology, the term is used to characterize the philosophical method employed by such writers as Friedrich Nietzsche and Michel Foucault. Digital ethnography, edit. Digital ethnography is also seen as virtual ethnography. This type of ethnography is not so typical as ethnography recorded by pen and pencil. Digital ethnography allows for a lot more opportunities to look at different cultures and societies. Traditional ethnography may use videos or images, but digital ethnography goes more in depth. For example, digital ethnographers would use social media platforms such as Twitter or blogs so that people's interactions and behaviors can be studied. Modern developments in computing power and AI have enabled higher efficiencies in ethnographic data collection via multimedia and computational analysis using machine learning to corroborate. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Many data sources together to produce a refined output for various purposes. 72. A modern example of this technology in application is the use of captured audio in smart devices, transcribed to issue targeted adverts, often reconciled vs other metadata, or product development data for designers. 73. Digital ethnography comes with its own set of ethical questions, and the association of Internet researchers' ethical guidelines are frequently used. 74. Gabriel de Setter's paper 3 Lies of Digital Ethnography, 75, explores some of the methodological questions more central to a specifically ethnographical approach to Internet studies, drawing upon Fine's classic text. 76. Multispecies ethnography, edit. Multispecies ethnography in particular focuses on both non-human and human participants within a group or culture, as opposed to just human participants in traditional ethnography. A multispecies ethnography, in comparison to other forms of ethnography, studies species that are connected to people and our social lives. Species affect and are affected by culture, economics, and politics. 77. The study's roots go back to general anthropology of animals. One of the earliest well-known studies was Lewis Henry Morgan's The American Beaver and His Works, 1868. His study closely observed a group of beavers in northern Michigan. Morgan's main objective was to highlight that the daily individual tasks that the beavers performed were complex communicative acts that had been passed down for generations. 78. In the early 2000s, multispecies ethnography took on a huge increase in popularity. The annual meetings of the American Anthropological Association began to host the Multispecies Salon, 79, a collection of discussions, showcases, and other events for anthropologists. The event provided a space for anthropologists and artists to come together and showcase vast knowledge of different organisms and their intertwined systems. 80. Multispecies ethnography highlights a lot of the negative effects of these shared environments and systems. Not only does multispecies ethnography observe the physical relationships between organisms, it also takes note of the emotional and psychological relationships built between species. Relational ethnography, edit. Most ethnographies take place in specific places where the observer can observe specific instances that relate to the topic involved. Relational ethnography articulates studying fields rather than places or processes rather than processed people. Meaning that relational ethnography doesn't take an object nor a bounded group that is defined by its members' shared social features, nor a specific location that is delimited by the boundaries of a particular area, but rather the processes involving configurations of relations among different agents or institutions. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Notable ethnographers, edit. This section needs expansion with missing attribution of who or what. Source considers these persons ethnographers. You can help by adding to it. November 2022. Manuel Ancisa Bastera, 1812–1882. Franz Boas, 1858–1942. Gregory Bateson, 1904–1980. Adrian Cornelissen van der Donk, c. 1618–1655. Mary Douglas, 1921–2007. Raymond Firth, 1901–2002. Leo Frobenius, 1873–1938. Thor Heyerdahl, 1914–2002. Zora Neale Hurston, 1891–1960. Diamond Gennis, 1886–1969. Mary Kingsley, 1862–1900. Caro Bethled, 1895–1983. Ruth Lance, 1908–1991. Edmund Leach, 1910–1989. Joselit de Vasconcelos, 1858–1941. Claude Levi-Strauss, 1908–2009. Bronislaw Malinowski, 1884–1942. David Mayberry Lewis, 1929–2007. Margaret Mead, 1901–1978. Nicholas McLaughlin-Maclay, 1846–1888. Gerhard Friedrich Müller, 1705–1783. Nikolai Nadezhdin, 1804–1856. Lou Bornedal, 1865–1944. Dosite Jabridovic, 1739–1811. Alekio Kladnikov, 1908–1981. Sergei Oldenburg, 1863–1934. Edward Sapir, 1884–1939. August Ludwig von Schlosser, 1735–1809. James Spradley, 1933–1982. Jean Briggs, 1929–2016. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Cora Dubois, 1903–1991. Lila Abulaoud. Elijah Anderson, born 1943. Ruth Bahar. Zuzana Bukov, born 1960. Zilpa Bursanova. Napoleon Shagnon, 1938–2019. Veena Das, born 1945. Mitchell Jr. Kristen Argodzi, born 1970. Alice Gorfman, born 1982. Jabber F. Gubrium, born 1945. Katrina Karkazis. Jovan Kvijic. Richard Price, born 1941. Marilyn Strathan, born 1941. Carolyn Ellis. Barry Thorne. Sudha Venkatesh. Susan Visvanathan. Paul Willis. Mikhail Nikolaevich Smirnov. James H. McAlexander, Consumer Culture Ethnography, 1958–2022, citation needed. See also, edit. Area Studies. Autoethnography. Critical ethnography. Ethnoarchaeology. Ethnography of communication. Ethnographic museum. Ethnology. Ethnosemiotics. Folklore. Immersion journalism. Living lab. Online ethnography. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Ontology. Participant observation. Qualitative research. Realist ethnography. Video ethnography. Visual ethnography. References, edit. 1 Krupat, A. 2023. Ethnocriticism, Ethnography, History, Literature, in Spanish. University of California Press. ISBN 978-0-520-33443-4. Retrieved 13 May 2024. 2 Almag and Skinner 2013. 3 AB Redfield 2019. 4 Skinner 2014, pp. 171203. 5 Wolf 2011. 6 Almag and Skinner 2013, p6. 7 AB Caldalis 2013, p7. 8 Dench, Emma, the 12th of September 2017. Ethnography and History. A Companion to Greek and Roman. Historiography. Oxford, UK, Blackwell Publishing. pp. 471-480. Do. 10.1002/9781405185110.ch 51. ISBN 978-1-4051-8511-0. 9 Chapter 6. Tacitus on the Germans. Rethinking the Other in Antiquity. Princeton University Press. 31 December 2010 pp. 159178. Do. 10.1515/9781400836550.159. ISBN 978-1-4008-3655-0. 10 Almag and Skinner 2013, p. 133. 11 Almag and Skinner 2013, p2. 12 AB Vermeulen, Han F., 2008, Early History of Ethnography and Ethnology in the German Enlightenment, Leiden, p. 199. 13 Vermeulen, Hans, 2008. Early History of Ethnography and Ethnology in the German Enlightenment. Anthropological Discourse in Europe and Asia, 1710 1808. Leiden, privately published. 14 Diwan M., 2018, Understanding Ethnography, An Exotic Ethnographer's Perspective. In, Mura P. Kulatimor C. eds, Asian Qualitative Research in Tourism. Perspectives on Asian Tourism. Springer, Singapore. 15 AB Preece, J., Sharp, H., and Rogers, Y. 2015. Interaction Design, Beyond Human Computer. Interaction, 4th edition. Wiley. 16 Till, K.E. 1 January, 2009, Ethnography, in Kitchen, Rob, Thrift, Nigel, eds, International. Encyclopedia of Human Geography, Oxford, Elsevier, pp. 626631, ISBN 978-0-08-044910-4, retrieved. 13 March, 2022. 17 Imlay, Matthew, Harvis, Elizabeth, Valdivia, Gabriella, 12 July 2021. The Routledge Handbook of Critical Resource Geography. Routledge. p. 204. ISBN 978-0-429-78408-8. 18 ABC, Brewer, John D. 2000. Ethnography. Philadelphia, Open University Press. p. 10. 19 Pink, Sarah, 2021. Doing Visual Ethnography, 4th ed. Los Angeles, Sage. ISBN 978-1-5297. 1766-2. 20 1. Permanent Dead Link. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 21 Nightingale, David and Crombie, John. Social Constructionist Psychology, A Critical Analysis of Theory and Practice. Philadelphia, Open University Press. p. 228. 22 ABC Garson, G. David, 2015. Ethnographic Research. Page needed. 23 Genzuk, Michael, 1999. Tapping into Community Funds of Knowledge. Effective Strategies for English Language Acquisition, a Curriculum Guide for the Development of Teachers, Grades Kindergarten through 8. Archived from the original on the 23rd of October, 2018. 24 Emerson, Robert M. Fretz, Rachel I. Shaw, Linda L. 2011. Writing Ethnographic Field Notes. 2nd edition. University of Chicago Press. p. 3. ISBN 978-0-226-20683-7. 25 Emerson, Robert M. Fretz, Rachel I. Shaw, Linda L. 2011. Writing Ethnographic Field Notes. 2nd edition. University of Chicago Press. p. 4. ISBN 978-0-226-20683-7. 26 Esjidmo, D. Yanau, H. Wells, and F. Canstieg, 2010. Ethnography. Inner Mills, G. Duropos, and E. Weeb, eds, Encyclopedia of Case Study Research. pp. 348352. Thousand Oaks, CA, Sage. Publications, Incorporated. 27 Barry, Linda. Linda Barry, The Answer is in the Picture. YouTube. Talks. Archived from the original on the 30th of October, 2021. Retrieved the 5th of May, 2015. 28 Scots, Edward, ed. Political Ethnography, What Immersion Contributes to the Study of Power. University of Chicago Press. 2009. 29 Bolsiger, Philip, Lamberley, Alexandre, 2014. Participant Observation. In Della Porta, Donatella, ed. Methodological Practices in Social Movement Research. Oxford University Press. pp. 144172. HDL, 1814/33395. ISBN 978-0-19-871957-1. 30 Narol, Raoul. Handbook of Methods in Cultural Anthropology. 31 Chavez, Leo. Shadowed Lives, Undocumented Workers in American Society, Case Studies in Cultural Anthropology. 1997, Prentice Hall. 32 Ember, Carol and Melvin Ember, Cultural Anthropology, Prentice Hall, 2006, Chapter 1. 33 Hyder, Carl. Seeing Anthropology. 2001. Prentice Hall, Chapters 1 and 2. 34 Compare. Ember and Ember 2006, Hyder 2001 Opsit. 35 Ember and Ember 2006, Opsit, Chapters 7 and 8. 36 Turner, Victor, Victor Witter, 1970. The Forest of Symbols, Aspects of Ndemu Ritual. Cornell University Press. ISBN 978-0-8014-9101-6. page needed. 37 Geertz, Clifford. The Interpretation of Culture, Chapter 1. 38 Olaf Zenker and Carsten Kumol. Beyond Writing Culture, Current Intersections of Epistemologies and Representational Practices. 2010. New York, Bergen Books. ISBN 978-1-84545-675-7. pp. 1-4. 39 Paula Eriksson and Liam D. Murphy. A History of Anthropological Theory, 3rd edition. 2008. Toronto, Broadview Press. ISBN 978-1-55111-871-0. p. 190. 40 Eriksson and Murphy, 2008. A History of Anthropological Theory, pp. 190-191. 41 Godzi, Kristen, the 24th of May, 2013. Writing Ethnographies That Ordinary People Can Read, PDF. Anthropology News. 42 Literary Ethnography http://literary-ethnography.tumblr.com/ 43 AB Olaf Zenker and Carsten Kumol. Beyond Writing Culture, Current Intersections of Epistemologies and Representational Practices. 2010. New York, Bergen Books. ISBN 978-1-84545-675-7. p. 12. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 44 Lassiter, Luki. 2001. From Reading Over the Shoulders of Natives to Reading Alongside Natives, Literally, Toward a Collaborative and Reciprocal Ethnography. Journal of Anthropological Research. 57, 2137149 10.1086/jar.57.2.3631564. S2 SID 147547789. 45 Lassiter, Luki. 2005. Collaborative Ethnography and Public Anthropology. Current Anthropology. 46, 183-106-2, 10.1086/4255658. S2 SID 147418975. 46 Rubin, R.B., Rubin, A.M., and Peel, L.J. 2005. Communication Research, Strategies and Sources. Belmont, California, Thomson Wadworth. pp. 229. 47 Bentz, V.M., and Shapiro, J.J. 1998. Mindful Inquiry in Social Research. Thousand Oaks, California, Sage. p. 117. 48 Salvador, Tony, Genevieve Bell, and Ken Anderson, 1999, Design Ethnography Design. Management Journal, pp. 35-41. p. 37. 49 Ladner, Sam, 2014. Practical Ethnography. Left Coast Press. ISBN 978-1-61132-390-0. 50 A Simple Guide for Conducting Consumer Research by Brian Lister. http://www.ignitibrands.com/c. Customer Research / 51 Richardson, Laurel, 29th of June, 2016. Evaluating Ethnography. Qualitative Inquiry. 6, 22532555. Do. 10.1177/1077800400006002007. S2 SID 220899430. 52 for Postcolonial Critiques of Ethnography from Various Locations, CSAs in Prem Podar et al. Historical Companion to Postcolonial Literatures Continental Europe and Its Empires, Edinburgh. University Press, 2008. 53 fine, p. 267. 54 fine, p. 291. 55 ABCD American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, PDF. P1. 56 American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, 2p. 57 American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, P18. 58 AB American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, P.23. 59 American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, P4. 60 AB American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, P5. 61 American Anthropology Association Code of Ethics, P56. 62 AB Fine, P27077. 63 Fine, P27781. 64 Fine, P28289. 65 Levi, Patricia, 2020. Method meets art, arts-based research practice, 3rd ed. The Guilford Ford. ISBN 978-1-4625-3897-3. 66 Mary Chal, Garance, 2010. Autoethnography. In Mills, Albert J. Duropos, Gabrielle, Wiebe, Eldon. eds. Encyclopedia of Case Study Research. Volume 2. Los Angeles, Calif. Sage. pp. 43-45. ISBN 978-1-4522-6572-8. OCLC 8111400520. 67 Ellis, Carolyn, 2004. The Ethnographic Eye, a methodological novel about autoethnography. Walnut Creek, CA, Altamira Press. ISBN 0-7591-00500-0. OCLC 52845847. 68 Adams, Tony E. Jones, Stacy Holman, Ellis, Carolyn, 2015. Autoethnography. New York, New York. Oxford University Press. ISBN 978-0-19-997210-4. OCLC 8913972776. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. 69 Poulos, Christopher N. 2021, Conceptual Foundations of Autoethnography, Essentials of Autoethnography, Washington, American Psychological Association, pp. 317, do. 10.1037/0000222. 001, ISBN 978-1-4338-3454-7, S2 SID 2349619775. 70 A. B. Bochner, Arthur, Ellis, Carolyn, 2016. Evocative Autoethnography, Writing Lives and Telling Stories. New York, Routledge. Do. 10.4324/9781315545417. ISBN 978-1-134-81587-6. 71 Windows on Humanity by Conrad Philip Kotok. Chapter 2, page 38. 72 Dixon, Adam, Lu, Ying, Sechi, Rossi, 2016. Computer-Aided Ethnography in Engineering Design. Volume 7, 28th International Conference on Design Theory and Methodology. Do. 10.1115/DETC 2016. 59832. ISBN 978-0-7918-5019-0. 73 Thousands of Amazon workers listen to Alexa users' conversations. The 11th of April, 2019. 74 Association of Internet Researchers Ethics Guidelines. 75 Setter, Gabriel de, the 17th of February, 2020. 3 Lies of Digital Ethnography. Journal of Digital Social Research. 2, 17797 do. 10.3362/JDSR.v2i1.24 HDL11250/2754160. ISSN 2003-1998. S2 SID 2130352002. 76 Fine, Gary Allen, the 1st of October, 1993. 10 Lies of Ethnography, Moral Dilemmas of Field Research. Journal of Contemporary Ethnography. 22, 32679294. Do. 10.1115/0891241930220030001. ISSN 0891-2416. S2 SID 144256882. 77 Kirksey, Esteban, Helmrich, Stefan, 2010. The Emergence of Multispecies Ethnography. Cultural Anthropology. 25, 4545576 do. 10.1548-1348.2030.2010.01069.xhdl 1721.1/61966. S2 SID 145087075. 78 Morgan, Lewis Henry, 1986. The American Beaver, A Classic of Natural History and Ecology. New York, Dover Publications. ISBN 0-486-24995-6. OCLC 12135104. 79 The Multispecies Salon. The Multispecies Salon. Retrieved 19 September, 2022. 80 Kirksey, Esteban, Helmrich, Stefan, November, 2010. The Emergence of Multispecies. Ethnography. Cultural Anthropology. 25, 454556 10.132060.1360.2010.01069.x HDL 1721.1/61966 S2 SID 145087075 Bibliography, edit. Agar, Michael, 1996, The Professional Stranger, An Informal Introduction to Ethnography. Academic Press. Burns, Janet M.C. 1992, Caught in the Riptide, Female Researcher in a Patricentric Setting. pp. 171182. In Fragile Truths, 25 Years of Sociology and Anthropology in Canada. D. Harrison, W.K. Carroll, L. Christiane Zenruffman and Raymond Curry, eds. Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, Carleton University Press. Clifford, James and Georgie Marcus, eds. Writing Culture, The Poetics and Politics of Ethnography. 1986. Berkeley, University of California Press. Douglas, Mary and Baroness Sherwood, 1996, The World of Goods, Toward and Anthropology of Consumption. Routledge, London. Jabinsky, Itamar, 2017. Global and Local Methodological and Ethical Questions in Researching Football. Academies in Ghana. Children's Geographies, 15, 4, 385-398. https://do.org/10.1080/147332855.2016.124. 9823. Erickson, Ken C. and Donald D. Stull, 1997, Doing Team Ethnography, Warnings and Advice. Sage. Beverly Hills. Fetterman, D. 2009, Ethnography, Step by Step, 3rd edition, Thousand Oaks CA, Sage. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Fine, Gia. 1993. 10 Lies of Ethnography, Moral Dilemmas of Field Research. Journal of Contemporary Ethnography. 22, 3267294 do. 10.1121241930220030030001. S2 SID 144256882. Geertz, Clifford. The Interpretation of Cultures, New York, Basic Books. Goetze, Kristen, 2013, 2, Anthropology News. Graham, S. Scott, 2015. The Politics of Pain Medicine, A Rhetorical Ontological Inquiry. Chicago. Scholarship Online. ISBN 978-0-226-26405-9. Groh, Arnold O. 2018. Research Methods in Indigenous Contexts. New York, Springer. Gubrium, Jabber F. 1988. Analyzing Field Reality. Thousand Oaks, CA, Sage. Gubrium, Jabber F. and James A. Holstein. 1997, The New Language of Qualitative Method. New York. Oxford University Press. Gubrium, Jabber F. and James A. Holstein. 2009. Analyzing Narrative Reality. Thousand Oaks, CA. Sage. Hammersley, Martin, 2018, What's Wrong with Ethnography, London, Routledge. Hammersley, Martin and Atkinson, Paul, 2019, Ethnography, Principles in Practice, 4th edition. London, Routledge. Heath, Shirley Bryce and Brian Street with Molly Mills. On Ethnography. Himes, Dell. 1974. Foundations in Sociolinguistics, an Ethnographic Approach. Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania Press. Kotick, Conrad Philip, 2005, Window on Humanity, A Concise Introduction to General Anthropology. Pages 2-3, 16-17, 34-44. McGraw-Hill, New York. Manick, L., and McGarry, K. 2017. Practicing Ethnography, A Student Guide to Method and Methodology. University of Toronto Press. Marcus, Georgie. And Michael Fisher. Anthropology as Cultural Critique, An Experimental Moment in the Human Sciences. 1986. Chicago, University of Chicago Press. Moelka, Renee, 2014. Being One of the Guys or the Fly on the Wall. Participant Observation of Veteran Bikers. Insoetas, Joseph, Shields, Patricia M. Riot Jens, Sebastian, eds. Routledge Handbook of Research Methods in Military Studies. Routledge. pp. 104114. Do. 10.4334/9780203093801-20. ISBN 978-0-203-09380-1. Miller, Daniel, 1987, Material Culture and Mass Consumption. Blackwell, London. Spradley, James P. 1979, The Ethnographic Interview. Wadsworth Group / Thomson Learning. Salvador, Tony, Genevieve Bell, and Ken Anderson, 1999, Design Ethnography. Design Management. Journal. Van Maanen, John. 1988. Tales of the Field, on Writing Ethnography Chicago, University of Chicago Press. Westbrook, David. Navigators of the Contemporary, Why Ethnography Matters. 2008. Chicago. University of Chicago Press. Almag, Aaron, Skinner, Joseph, 2013. Ancient Ethnography, New Approaches, in French. New York. Bloomsbury. ISBN 978-1-4025-3760-7. OCLC 86082782. Redfield, James Adam, the 24th of April, 2019, Ethnography in Antiquity, Anthropology, Oxford University Press. Do. 10.1093/abo/9780199766567-0214, ISBN 978-0-19-9766566-7. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF. Skinner, Joseph, the 30th of May, 2014. Greek Ethnography and Archaeology, Limits and Boundaries. Dialogues. Die Historische An. S10, Supplement 10. Kern, 171203. Do. 10.3917/.hs91.0171. ISSN 0755 7256. Kaldalis, Anthony, 2013. Ethnography After Antiquity, Foreign Lands and Peoples in Byzantine Literature. Philadelphia, University of Pennsylvania Press. ISBN 978-0-8122-0840-5. OCLC 8591623444. Wolf, Greg, 2011. Tales of the Barbarians, Ethnography and Empire in the Roman West. Malden, Ma. Huyler Blackwell. ISBN 978-1-4051-6073-5. OCLC 6909603112. Isaac, Benjamin H. 2004. The Invention of Racism in Classical Antiquity. Princeton, N.J., Princeton University Press. ISBN 0-691-11691-1. OCLC 51942570. External links, edit. Categories: Ethnography, Anthropology, Cultural Anthropology, Social Anthropology, Ethnology, Ethnicity, Ethnic Studies. Explore our developer-friendly HTML to PDF API printed using PDF Crowd HTML to PDF.